Hello everyone, it's Tammy with We Are Crafted in His Image, and this is my second go round on this project because I got almost completely done with videotaping and realized my camera wasn't recording. So I cut out all the pieces again, and this is take two. So today we are going to make the You Are Just Like Cookies card, the little Z-fold card. And you're going to need your stamp set, your inks, the number 3 packet, a pair of paper snips, and adhesive. Oh, you don't need the plus, just regular adhesive will work for today's project. So let me go ahead and clear this away. And let's start with our stamping like we usually do. Get that out of the way. And we're going to start with, there really isn't any stamping on either of those two pieces. We have our envelopes here and some white rectangles. We have some cinnamon cider rectangles and then a very small white strip. We're going to start with these, but I want to just give you a fair warning. Inside your envelopes, just like last time, is the small pieces. And when I mean small, I mean very small. Our word cookie has the tiny little dot on the eye, and there should be 2 of them in there. I had to recut them several times because I kept losing them. So please don't take them out until you absolutely need them to make sure they don't walk away and get lost. If they do, you probably just take a deep brown pen and just make a dot there. But hopefully they're in there. I'm going to show you a trick to getting the paper off the backing that I figured out. So let me set these aside because I don't need them quite yet. But for now, we are going to start with our cinnamon cider. And if you can see here, I did not do it. I'm going to do it a little differently than I did this one. My cookies here don't line up because I stamped them separate. Today I'm going to try stamping them together so that it'll look like one full sheet that goes across. So let's lay these out like this and let's get our stamp. We're going to start for this one here. This part we just need the outline of the cookie. So get myself a block, and for the background we are using the cinnamon cider for the background piece. And I realized when I did the first video of this, I may have misprinted that in your instructions. I may have put early espresso rather than the cinnamon cider, and it really doesn't matter. It'll just give you a darker background. So if yours looks different, if you already did yours and it looks different, I apologize. That is my fault. So we're going to start stamping. And you see I'm just holding those 2 pieces together, and I'm going to stamp a few of the cookies right down the middle, changing their directions. There we go. And now I can pull this apart and make it a little bit easier for myself to stamp. I prefer to rotate the paper as opposed to rotating the stamp itself in my hand. And now I can do that. So there we go. Just try and turn your cookies around so they're not all facing the same direction. There we go. Got a few more cookies to do. Let's see, I don't want that one facing the same way. That one off so there's no bite taken out of it. There we go. Let's set those so I make sure I remember those 2 go together, and then let's do this one. There we go. And slightly off that way. There we go. I like making the pattern paper with stamps. It's just kind of fun. Gives you a little more detail in the background. There we go. And I feel weird because I just had this whole conversation with you a little while ago when I recorded this the first time around. It's like deja vu. A little bit there. Okay, so those line up? Yes. All right, so I'm going to set both of those aside. While I have this out, I'm going to go ahead and stamp the envelopes. And this one has all the stuff inside and I can see them in there. I know you can't see, but I have some light behind it. So I'm just making sure that there's nothing in this corner when I stamp. Actually, I think I want to stamp that with the Early Espresso. So I'm going to clean off my stamp. And I'm going to leave that open. We're going to use it in a minute. So Early Espresso. Now make sure I have it in the right direction. 1 cookie. 2 cookies. There we go. And then also, oh, now I do need a few of those things from inside this envelope. There are 6 cookie silhouettes. And rather than dumping this out, I am going to pull out my vellum circles. I'm just going to grab the cookies to make sure my dots stay in there. Let's see. I see 1. I see 2. Yay! They're both in there still. Yay! Okay. Oh, set that here. Oh, now I gotta. They are down. Okay. And now let's go ahead and stamp the outline on our cookie silhouettes. So here we have 1. 2, 3, 4. And when I'm doing this, I'm actually eyeballing this little cutout, the little bite mark, to get it lining up properly. There we go. And 6. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and wash off my stamp. I think I am done with this stamp. Now I want the inside of the cookie. And we're going to do that in the cinnamon cider. And we're not going to do the inside of these cookies. We're just going to leave them as outlines. But for our cutouts and for our envelopes, we're going to do the centers. Now we want a lighter shade of the cinnamon cider. Now you can do it full strength if you want. I went for the lighter shade, so I'm going to stamp on my scrap paper first, or on my grid sheet, and then stamp it onto my cookie. Make sure. Okay, so there's those 2. And actually, if you see that that didn't line up super well, I'm going to go ahead and, or it did line up, it just didn't ink well. I'm going to try and just get a little more ink in that spot. There we go. That looks a little better. Let's see. Woohoo! So now you look like you've got a chocolate chip cookie with a lighter color cookie dough, cookie batter, and then the dark chocolate chip cookies going on in there. See, how many do I have left? I've got 4 done. Oops, see, that one did it again. I'm not pushing hard enough. There we go. That's what I like about photopolymer. You can see through, and you can usually line it up well enough to re-stamp if need be. And last one, last cookie. There we go. All right, so our cookies are done. Now we're going to stamp our words. So I don't believe we need the cinnamon cider anymore. I'm going to go ahead and close mine up. Keep myself from putting my elbow or paper or something in it. So I know you've already noticed how messy I am at crafting. So now we need this piece here, your rectangle, white rectangle, and we need the words, "You make everything better." And I have found with the photopolymer, I like to turn it over so I can read the words. There it is, "You make everything better." And I'm going to go ahead and get out the "You're just like," because I'll need that in a second. I'll go ahead and mount that on a block. Get that one ready. I can use a smaller Well, that's kind of small, but that's all right. We'll try it. Nah. Let me take this off of here and go ahead and use this one. That's a better size. Okay, just like I did last week's class, I'm going to use this as a center to center my words. I'm going to kind of use that as a reference to see if my words are centered. You make, oh, everything better. That goes on the inside. There we go. Pretty straight. And perfect. Well, as perfect as hand stamped is gonna get, right? Right. Okay, now the You're Just Like, we are going to stamp on this long strip. We'll do one at one end and one at the other end. And then we'll just cut them with our paper snips to the size that we want. So, there we go. And I gave you a longer strip, so if you do happen to like see this one's a little bit crooked, I think I'll redo it another one right here in the middle, see if I can get a little bit straighter. Oh, my head's gonna get in the way, I'm sorry. That's just the only way to do it. There we go. Happier with that one. Okay, and are we done with the stamping? We are done with the stamping, so let's close that up. Paper snips. Now, if you want to, you can cut off the ends like a little bit of an angle. Whoops. Or you can just cut them straight, whichever one you want. Okay, there's my two pieces. Let's start assembling. So you'll notice on your card base, there are two score lines on it rather than just one like a normal card. The extra score line you want on your left hand side. This is actually the front of your card. This is the inside of your card. So I'm going to go ahead and fold mine in. And let me move that out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. And then fold this one back on itself. This is why it's called a Z-fold. And then I do like to make sure that the edge is nice and lined up before I press, because sometimes those score lines don't come out really, really perfect. There we go. And there's my Z-fold ready to go on that one. Let's do this one. And then fold it back on itself. There we go. And then while we have it out, we're going to do the same thing. Now this one, doesn't matter which way you're folding it right now, but it's actually going to go the opposite way eventually. When we put it on the fold, it's going to go on this side, not this way. Fold those up. There's that one. These are a lot easier to fold than the full size. Oops. And fold that one. And just for your reference, and I'm going to put measurements on the blog, but this is basically scored directly in the middle of your 5.5 inch side, so it's 2 5/8 of an inch. But I will, I'll put that in the blog, so you'll have all the measurements in case you want to replicate this later. And this is the same way; these are identical scores on them. Okay, so now let's put things together. I'm actually going to start with the cinnamon cider panels, and we're going to put this one's going to go here, and this one's going to go on your inside panel there. So let's start with this outside piece here. For some reason my plus always ends up in the front. There we go. Oh, come on, come on. There we go. I'll go ahead and put adhesive on this one while I'm here. Okay. So because I want to make sure it's lined up on this edge, I'm going to go in this direction. Because I'm right-handed, it's just easier for me to hold it in my right hand and line up with my left. And lay that down, and then same thing, make sure I have my cookies. Oh, see, I almost put my cookies on upside down. Oh, wait, what happened? Oh, I did that one upside down, didn't I? I did. Let's see if I can get that off of there. I didn't push down really hard. Usually if you haven't burnished it down, you might be able to peel it off. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Ooh, one of them's off. One's off. Try not to bend it. Try not to bend it. Oh, ripped a little. That's okay. It's going to be underneath. Okay. Now, nope. Yes. That is my inside. Let's try that again. Okay, and I'm not going to push down really hard just in case. Ha! Yay, my cookies line up now. There we go. Oh, much better, much better. All right, and I'm going to go ahead while I have this card out, and I'm going to go ahead and glue this to the inside of the card. There we go. And again, just pushing it right up against that edge. And then laying it down. And this one's done. All right, let's do the second one. Let's make sure I get it done correctly this time. Flip them both over together. I should have brought a second piece of paper so you guys don't have that background going on there. Okay, so that's my middle. So hold on this side. Line it up here. And then, yay! Okay. And our inside. Ta-da! Okay. Now, this piece, as I mentioned, the fold is going to go on the opposite side than that one. So the fold actually goes on this side, like that. And we are going to flip it over, and we want adhesive here and adhesive here. So I'm actually going to do this adhesive first, and then flip it around that side. Okay. And then, again, I'm going to use this as a reference. I think I'm going to do, let's see, I'm going to line this up along the lines, and I'm going to go 3 squares up. 3? 3, yeah, 3 looks good. So that side's down, but then I'm going to go over here and make sure that that is lining up 3 squares up. And then I know I'm getting it all nice and straight. Sometimes my eyeballing doesn't work, so having a straight line as a guide works much better. Adhesive on our second one. Do the same thing. Okay. Line this up straight. 3 squares up. And whoa, 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 whoa. Come on, get back down there. And see, it's not quite. There we go. That's better. 3 squares. Now we're straight. Okay. And mine wants to stick off here just a hair. So I'm going to just use my scissors here, trim that a little bit off. Ta-da! Now let's get our cookies on. Chocolate chip cookies. I would say they're my favorite, but really I have so many favorite cookies. I mean, chocolate. Okay. 2 of them on each card are going on regular, and then 1 on each card is going with a dimensional. So let me grab a dimensional for 2 of these, and I'm just going to use a whole dimensional right smack in the middle. It's a good size for that. And then a little bit of adhesive on the other 4, since we're doing 2 cards. There we go. And then one of my cookies, I'm going to put, this is just a vellum, you can see through it. I'm going to put up a little bit. one of the cookies I'm going to do so the bite ends up getting hidden. Like that. And then we'll put the dimensional cookie right on top of that. Like that. Look good? Okay, now let's do the same thing here. Have that one go up. And this bite's going to get hidden. And then that one goes there. There we go. Now we want to put some adhesive on the back, and you can use regular adhesive. However, you want to make sure it's directly behind the cookies. If you get it in this area, it will be seen through the vellum. So you want to make sure your adhesive stays behind your cookie area. There we go. Maybe. There we go. And let's put our cookies on here. I put it so that it's slightly below the line. Most of it is above our little strip of bumblebee paper. I think I want to turn it. What do you think? Yeah, like that. Do the same on this one. Okay, now remember on this one here, it's going to stick out just a little bit, so you don't want adhesive behind here. So what I do is I hold that part, because you got to hold it anyway in order to get your adhesive on. And then I know I'm not going to get adhesive where I don't want it to be. We're just going to put up here and just have it sticking off the edge a little. There you go. Same thing. Make sure I'm holding the correct side. There we go. Oh, got adhesive on my paper. Make sure, am I straight? Do I look straight? I think so. My words are a little crooked on there, I just realized. I probably should have stamped on the other side. Okay, there is that. Oh, we need, you're just like, we need to put our cookies on. So, this is the tricky part. I'm only saying this because I kept losing the little boogers. They kept just, I don't know if they were sticking to the back of something or what, but I just kept losing them, and I had to recut them several times to make sure I had enough for everybody's packages. So I'm going to leave those right there so I can see them. And we're going to take the backing off. I used the adhesive sheets just like on the last ones. Take that off. Start with my C, and then just eyeballing that your letters. For some reason the S always seems to want to go down, so I have to kind of push it up a little bit. I don't know if it's just the style, but there we go. Get that on. Now here's the trick. Grab one of these. There's my little dot. I'm going to flip it over upside down, maybe if I can grab it. Come on, flip over. There we go. If you have one of our older piercing tools, this one's my favorite, but this one is retired. But we do have this one here. What you want to do is hold the dot upside down, and then use this tool to lift up. I don't know if you can see that from there or not, but I'm lifting the backing off, and then I'll hold it with my tool and then peel off the backing. And now it's stuck here, and now I can easily pick it up and stick it down. Much, much easier than trying to do it with my fingernails. So let's do the second one. Let's get our second cookie done. Let's do that again. Peel off the backing. All my insides came out on that one. So the letter C, line up the rest of the letters, try and get them straight. And if you have this tool here, the sticky end you can use for picking that dot up. So I put it down. Oh, maybe you can see better that I have it on this background here. So here's that. Now I'm going to lift up that backing, peel off the backing with my nail, and then drop down my dot. Yay! I love it when a tip works. Okay, oh, where's my cap? Don't want to poke myself. There we go. Guess what? We're done. Wow, that was quick. Okay, so we have 2 cards, we have 2 envelopes, And these are finished. Next week's project will be our last one for this class, and it is the Love You More Than Chocolate card. Whoops, there's my notes on sizes. So there is that, and I can't wait to see you then. Until then, you have a great day, God's love and blessings, and see you next week. Bye!